Dear friends, my name is Rabbi Ben-Sion Gaisinski, and I'm here to speak to you on behalf of Yad Zlata, the organization named after my wife of blessed memory. The organization is committed to perpetuating the memory of Zlata and to carry on the noble work that she dedicated her life to. Each year, around the time of her yahrzeit, this year will be the 13th year, we come together in an evening of support and an evening of tribute. I am asking you once again to please join us this year on June 20th at the Hebrew Academy. That is the day of her yahrzeit, Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. This year, though, I ask you to make a special effort because I believe that those in attendance will have an opportunity to have their lives changed. You see, in the past we've had a musical evening, which was always inspirational and very warm. But this year we are doing something very, very special. We are going to have a guest speaker who's going to be broaching the subject of bitachon and emunah, trust and faith in Hashem. Rabbi Sholom Rubashkin has literally moved the hearts of hundreds and thousands of Jews around the world on this subject. That's not an exaggeration. He is endorsed, and there is encouragement from rabbis of every walk, Chassidish, Litvish, which in itself speaks milliards. You see, you have the Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood Yeshiva, Rabbi Yerucham Olshin, and you have Rebbes across the United States, Gedolim in Eretz Yisrael, great leaders at the Yeshiva University, all endorsing for everybody to come hear this talk that Rabbi Rubashkin gives. There is something very special about it, and he moves you on the subject of emunah and bitachon, which, as you know, the Rambam says is the foundation of all of Judaism. I am therefore asking you not just come to pay respect to Zlata, but come so that you may grow in your personal relationship with God. Please make your reservation. There'll be some instruction on the board here that you'll be able to follow to make an RSVP. We're also going to include some video snippets on some of the remarks of Rabbi Rubashkin, so you can get a sense of what it is that he says. And mark the date down, make your RSVP today, so that you are sure you'll be there. Bring friends. I promise all those in attendance that evening that their relationship with Hashem will grow closer, stronger, and more positive. Thank you dearly, and I look forward to seeing you there. Keep well.
I never looked at it anything other than I have to do my thing. I have to do, as long as I'm doing things correctly, properly, the way Hashem wants me to do it, I'm okay. And then Hashem thrusts me into a challenge of my life. And it's not your own strength. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not your own strength that does this. This comes from your neshama. It comes from being a yid. It comes from being connected to Hashem, realizing that you're going through a very, very hard time, but it's for a purpose you may not know yourself. But Hashem is with you. The main thing, the most difficult thing for anybody going through any type of challenge, any type of nisayon, I think the most difficult thing is the feeling of loneliness, abandonment. Depending on the 27-year sentence, a young man is something you can go. I took the other route. Hashem is with me, emunah, bitachon, Hashem will help me, and I live from day to day. Shabbos was a highlight. You want to know how a Shabbos looked like. Nothing really to describe a Shabbos there. In a sense, when you go to Shabbos, you put out a table where you have food. You have Shabbos food. There's no Shabbos
different
food.
Clothing, you know.
Different clothing. So you have Shabbos food. Different clothing. I try to have so that you can't have a Shabbos suit. So the closest thing that I figured different clothing was they allowed you to have a kittel.
Really?
A kittel is a religious garment, and in prison they allowed you to have a kittel for high holidays and for Pesach. What are you a kittel for? So they allow you to have a kittel in your possession. So I use a kittel. That was my kapota. A white kittel. So I had Rosh Hashanah every Friday night. I had one of the inmates there was knit to make some money, some stamps, and so I had him knit me a different type of cap. A hat.
Really?
Yeah.
You still have it?
Yeah. I should maybe brought it to show to you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
During these,
And so I said Kiddush.
Right.
Shabbos was a day of obviously no telephone, the little telephone access you had, no computer access. You just sat and davened, learned, and never watched television there.
ever.
Never, ever. That's a never. Never sat down. And I guess it's not for the show here, but I really kept a life of closeness to Hashem, and like I said to the guy, when you live with your neshama, then you don't feel the pain that they're trying to inflict on your body. All these type of things that try to institutionalize you is all designed around your body. If you don't focus on your body, you focus on the neshama, then it doesn't.
So Mamash got a lot of chizuk from that, probably.
Oh, so I got a lot of chizuk. You know why? Because it's like Hashem is telling me, be here the same way you were home. Because the inclination is, here's different. This space, this prison space is different. This was the beginning, the first Chanukah in a place called prison. Interestingly enough, I was being pointed this out. I started the first night, I got freed on the 8th day. I went full cycle, and the 8th day Chanukah, Hashem gave me my miracle, and I got out.
So
Wow.
that's an amazing,
story. No?
It was told that just a few days before, you got the phone call, and you'll take us through those moments. But just a few days before, it was said that you were denied an appeal, and that was it. That was like the last leg of the journey.
Right.
Could you take us through, I guess, the moments finding that out, and then through the.
So what happened there was. I didn't know it because the lawyers know everything. I got mail, snail mail. That's how I got informed. Or the lawyer would call me and tell me this is what happened. I guess them knowing this is like the last thing they ever called me. It was Tuesday, and I think it was Rosh Chodesh, so it was Aleph Tevis, and I got a letter in the mail that. And the letter was from the appeals court, and 3 judges on there, and the big words for a blind man to see, denied. No
subtlety.
No subtlety.
You're sorry to regret.
No, that's so sorry.
No.
Yeah, that what you put in, denied.
Wow.
You know what denied meant? I know this was like, you're staying in prison at 18 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not stupid. I know exactly what they're telling me. Denied meaning you any chance you dreamt for the last 7 years fighting through the whole system, trying to get out is over. Don't call us back. The door shut, clink. Yeah? I remember watching this piece of paper and thinking to myself, and this is what you get from learning and living with the Shara B'tachon about Amunah B'tachon. It's not up to them to decide if you're getting out or not. If they denied, Hashem didn't deny me.
Fakert.
If you don't have what to do, if you have what to do, you have to do it. And there's a certain sense of sort of saying to Hashem, okay, I did the status that I was supposed to. I can't do anymore, so really it's all for you now. So I trust you can do it. I went back, and looking back, the koyach Ha'ir has for this, you have to thank Hashem for it. It's not like no honest person will say, oh, see, I was strong enough. We have the strength. The answer is Hashem gives you the strength. But as you're going through a challenge, but you have to at least want to go down that path. Mm-hmm. That night we went to light the 8th light again, Hanukkah. I didn't know then. This was the night before my miracle. I was dancing.
Aleph was more tzara. Aleph was.
But Amunah, that's the point. Amunah. Aleph was Amunah. That's how I put it together. Aleph.
No, but meaning the day of Amunah, the day was the same day that you were denied.
And the Amunah, that whatever Hashem does is good. But the base is B'tachon.
And then what happened on base?
The first miracle happened. I got up in the morning. I did every day for the last many years. I used to get up every morning 4:30 and say the whole Tillim. That was part of my...
Chitas?
No, besides Chitas. I said the whole Tillim.
Okay.
And the Chitas in addition. I said the whole Tillim. Why did I say the whole Tillim? You asked me, yeah?
Yeah.
Why did I say the whole Tillim?
Why you say the whole Tillim?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. I want to go home. What does a Jew do when he has a tzara?
Yeah, he says Tillim.
He says Tillim.
Right.
I mean, this is simple stuff that he does.
Yeah.
So which capital is this Gula to get out of jail. I don't know. Say the whole thing.
Are there people now who actively have maybe husbands in prison or family members in prison who call you for chizuk with this?
Yeah.
Are you able to visit prisons or no?
Right, still not yet.
But you would go back if you were allowed to? Wouldn't be hard, traumatic, difficult?
I never got, so that's a good question. I don't think, people ask me like, many times, how do you talk about something you want to forget? I said, I don't know if I was ever really there.
Rubashkin, you're not here. Remember the story?
Yeah. It's an amazing story, right? So I'm trying to work on myself. How do you do that?
Rubashkin, you're not here.
At the guy. He was ready to fight with me.
You were never there.
He was angry. Why? Because I asked him for something in front of his guys. It made him look bad.
Just to chaz it over. Right?
Yeah, I asked him for
you breached the etiquette. You asked him, you were in the middle of writing an email, so you asked him to get you water because they were going to shut down the computer. Ice. And it was a gang leader, and it was disrespectful. You dissed him.
I didn't know I dissed him.
So the next day when he was telling you, he goes, Rubashkin, you're not even here. And you told me,
yeah.
that was the moment, I'm not here.
How? How you not here? A person has to know if he lives with his neshama. Emunah b'tochen expresses itself in Torah mitzvahs. When you learn Torah mitzvahs, you're expressing your neshama. When your neshama is expressed, you're not in the tzara anymore. Because who are you really? You're neshama. And that raises up all your goof, so to speak, all your physical, gets raised up so you don't feel the pain. Of course you're in prison, but you don't feel the pain. I heard people describe me as being always happy. It's really missing you. You think I was happy being there?
No.
Definitely not. But the happiness was knowing that Davish is with me, because one of the hardest things going through any Nisayan is the feeling of
I can't even imagine what 1 hour was like. I was once visiting you, and your kids were there, and you leaned over to give him a kiss, and the guard, he's sitting over there like a Grace, a lifeguard chair, and he's like, Rubashkin, no!
Yeah.
You couldn't kiss your kid on the forehead.
And you imagine the pain for me and for the kid. So the word is, okay, so you can focus on the pain, or you can focus that the Eibishter wants me, not these things shouldn't affect me, and we can continue being the same Yid you were before, right? When you know you're doing what the Eibishter wants, right? And you know that the Eibishter is going to help you, you're able to maintain a simcha d'chayim. Unbelievable.
I want to talk a little bit about your father. You mentioned your father. That's right. Keine gedacht. So many people were nifter in this last kufa, in the last 8 months. Each one of them was a book. Each one of them was a sefer. And it was so many that they didn't always... Your father was nifter before Pesach?
Yeah, Test Nissen.
Father was a zach from a doyer. You must be full of haidah that he got to see at least these years, his simcha at the Tzutzadah.
I came out, undescribable. I wanted him to see the total victory because they robbed him and they took away things from him against the law and everything. But he was emunah, was steadfast, was beyond.
Father was a chiddush.
He was. They went to yeshiva chiddush. But the emunah was without. Imagine a person working 50 some years or something, and it wasn't easy money for him. Everything was
hard worker.
Yeah, he worked.
But he was
No, I remember coming home and walking into the butcher store. I tried to visit him.
The butcher store was never a big money maker because it was a chesed enterprise.
It made
coming,
money,
eating.
but he used it well. He did never. I told him, when I started working by him, he tells me, I'm going to tell you something. I thought I'm going to have some good Indian business, up to you said. He tells me, Sholom Rubashkin, Friday afternoon, Friday morning, whatever, comes in a woman and she doesn't have money to pay you for the meat. Just the reason, don't stand in between her, just make sure she has the meat. I was saying the guilt, write it down. Design. In other words, he told me, you remember what you're dealing with. You're dealing with food. Don't let ever a dollar to hold back. So somebody give. I remember the Bnei Yeshiva coming into the store. I was standing there, let's say Thursday night, Wednesday night, and it's for Philadelphia. Yeshiva that one I'm thinking about right now, but all the yeshivas that walk in, my father, big smile, they open up his big bags and start taking meat and filling it up for them. I say, that's unbelievable.
Hunderter Jeden.
We had some human intervention, and what we did was very important. But at the end of the day, this miracle was resolved by God.
You have to have a moment of talking to Eibishter. You will help us in our personal problems. It's not my simcha, that's everybody's simcha. And we see the Eibishter answers our tefillas. And it's Chanukah now, it's Hamshul Chanukah, we have to strengthen our thanks to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter is a loving Father, and the Eibishter can tell every single leader needs to Yeshua, Yeshua. Amen.